I might be the oldest booktuber in history at 71, but with my new haircut, don't I look pretty today? Aloha BookTube. I'm Marilyn Maya, the baby boomer booktuber, and this is my 100th video. No matter if it says 99, I didn't upload one, so it's really my 100th video. And even though in the teaser you might have thought this was not a serious video, it is, because I've been really rethinking my future on BookTube. 14 months. I've been on BookTube for 14 months, and I've only made 100 videos, which is good. I mean, at my age, but there are some pros and cons in being a booktuber at my age, or at any age really. And I just wanted to go through some of them and tell you what I decided to do with my channel going forward. So there's a lot in being a booktuber, or being any kind of YouTuber. Being a booktuber, I thought would be easier because I read a lot. I've always read a lot. But I jotted down some pros and cons of being a booktuber and my BookTube future. I'll start with the cons. You know, it's natural to reflect on my BookTube journey in these last 14 months. And I started filming 2 or 3 videos a week. And it's petered out to like 1 a week, which is even that has been anxiety producing and hard to do for a variety of reasons. And I'll get into them. Well, before I go into that, let me just say that another con is the YouTube studio. And I don't look at it very often, but when I do, they always compare you with someone else, and I'm always like in the bottom, like, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough. And I felt that way all my life, and I don't want to feel that way doing something that's a hobby for me. So that's a con. Even when I don't look at it too often, they kind of encourage you, look at it. This is your 10th video and in a series, and it's bad. Or, I always feel, not enough. And like I said, I don't like that feeling. So there's a lot of anxiety in being a booktuber if you already have anxiety. And I suffered with anxiety and panic attacks my entire life. And no, I haven't got a panic attack because of BookTube yet. So, that's fine. But I do feel very anxious because I'm not a tech savvy person. And, I can blame that on my age, but that wouldn't be true. There's people that are close to my age on BookTube who edit their videos, and I have to ask my my partner Jackson, he's an artist and he's busy with his own work, so I'm taking away from his work when I ask him to film a video for me. So if I go forward, I want to learn more in that area of YouTube. When I first started BookTube, I went gung-ho like many booktubers or YouTubers do. And I wanted to join every readathon, especially like March Mystery Madness, because mystery used to be, I shouldn't say used to be, it's still a big part of my reading life. And I found that I put so much effort into it, and it was hard. I felt pressure. I felt pressure when I watched other booktubers who were so more eloquent than I am, and who could do reviews so, eloquently. And I struggled, which is kind of odd because I was a teacher and I used to be an actress or not a famous actress, of course, but I used to act on stage. But I always had stage fright, even then. So I think that's part of my anxiety. And, you know, now with the Vlogmas coming and everybody like filming every day, I feel the pressure that other people are feeling. I sense it in some of their videos, and some of their videos are wonderfully filmed and edited, but I still feel a sense of, I'm tired of this. This is hard, you know, and I would never do Vlogmas, but, you know, I did a few vlogs. So that's another con. One of the biggest cons for me, and I'll have my partner film this. This is not even half of the mail haul that I have that I've not opened yet. And so the next, you might think, what is the next con? For me, being a retired part-time teacher on Social Security, it's moolah, it's money. And I've overspent my budget with buying books. You know, sometimes I couldn't pay the electric. And you might ask, well, why did you do it? I'm greedy for books. And when someone suggests or talks about a book that I have to have, most of these are not new books. In fact, 99% are used books that I got through Bookfinder, who is a wonderful site, tells you different sites you can get books for like $3-4. And some of them I bought from thrift stores, and I do a lot of library hauls. But still, there's some books that I feel I just have to own. Though I am not collecting books anymore, because I feel at my age, to be a collector would only give the people who go on after me more trouble getting rid of them, because you know, my daughter reads, but she doesn't read the same things I do. So I'm trying to keep it to a reasonable amount of books. And I think I have about maybe 150 books or less, and I'm planning to do an unhaul of about 50 of them. So what are the pros? And how can I keep on doing videos without the pressure and without the feeling of not being good enough? I thought a lot and hard about it. Should I continue doing BookTube? And the thing that always keeps me going is the wonderful people I've met on this platform. People that I wouldn't ever have the chance of meeting. People from Singapore, people from Indonesia, people from the United Kingdom, Ireland, Spain. I mean, you know, I am in love with a lot of the booktubers here. They're my friends. I don't have many friends in real, you know, IRL, as they say, in real life. I have a best friend, and she doesn't read. I mean, she knows how to read, but she's not a reader. And so to talk about books with someone, I just finished talking with, I had a buddy read. I had 2 wonderful buddy reads this month. And I can't tell you how much that meant to me to introduce a book to a wonderful person like Freddie, for example, the sluggish reader. He calls himself. He's not sluggish. He loved the book that I suggested to him, and I was so afraid he wouldn't, and that gave me such a joy. And not to mention Nikki. We read The 13th Tale together, which I have right here. And this is not a book I would ordinarily read. It's a gothic thriller mystery. And we just had the most wonderful time reading it. And she's a wonderful booktuber, so I will leave her information down below, as well as Freddie, who I'll talk about a little more. So I talked like every 2 days with Nikki on Voxer, and Voxer is a new medium for me. I've never. It's a wonderful. I've had. This is my like third Voxer book buddy read, and yeah, I felt sort of like a failure because it's Cloak and Dagger Christmas, and my reading for Cloak and Dagger Christmas hasn't been going too well because I was so involved in the two buddy reads that I really enjoyed. But I felt the pressure that I should read, some more mystery books. But let me go into the pros. Another pro, beside, of course, the wonderful people that I've met, and I can go on and on and on, and the generosity of doing, I was offered collaborations. I have a very small channel, and I was offered collaborations with Sean the Book Maniac, for example, Claudia from Spinster's Library. I mean, these are big booktubers, and they reached out to me and thought I was doing something right, and that kind of offset the feeling of not being good enough. So that's a big pro. The main reason I want to continue to be a booktuber is because of the books that I never would have thought of, like this book, Alberta and Jacob by Cora Sandell. And this is the book I was talking about that Freddie and I buddy read. And it's one of the best books I've read this year. It's on my 10 best books. And unfortunately, I got this at a secondhand store. And some of the pages, and I don't know if you can see this, but they were faded really badly. And it took away my pleasure of how beautiful the prose was and how much I related to the character, who, like me, came from an abusive, sad household and also had a crossed eye, which I do. And the way she navigated, and though she lived in the north of Norway, near the Arctic Circle, during the she was born in 1900, and she lived to I think she lived almost 99 years. So the way, how similar, our lives were, and how I would never have known about this book. And not to mention the prose is so gorgeous that I just have to have, it's a trilogy. It's Alberta and Jacob, Alberta and Freedom, and Alberta Alone. And she was alone in the sense that, I'm talking Cora Sandell, because she became a recluse for most of her life after but she kept on writing, and then she became famous in the West, more, America and UK, though she was a national treasure in Norway and Sweden and Scandinavia. But even in here, this is a picture of her. I knew it was a picture of her because she mentioned in the book her hair was like Brillo. She was unattractive, though I don't think she was unattractive. And the way she has her eyes closed in a profile, which is a trick that people who have what they call a squint in their eye, which I don't like to use, and even in the back when she was older, you can see it. But the way she's trying to not show that in the book just made me feel so sad for her, and so sad for the me that was that little girl, and me that's that older woman who still feels ashamed of my appearance. So these are the reasons that I'm staying with BookTube, because and I think it was Sean who gave me this recommendation, and if it's not, whoever did, thank you, thank you, thank you. So going forward, I'm going to make a few changes. I'm not going to pressure myself. So because of this, I'm going to keep on doing BookTube, despite the anxiety, despite the bad things that I spoke about. And I'm going to just give myself some slack. And if I do one video a week, I do one video a week. If I don't grow I don't grow. And I'm not going to let the YouTube studio make me feel less than, you know, because my commenters, friends that I've made, they make me feel so good about myself. And even though I might be the oldest booktuber alive, I feel I still have a lot of life in me and a lot of things to teach other people, because there's so much ageism, you know, and baby boomers are against the millennials, and millennials are against the Generation Xers or whatever. But we're just human beings and women. And I have a wonderful project that I'm trying to bring to people, which is not only about ending the stigma about mental illness, but it's also ending many stigmas about age, about women, about beauty, about anxiety, about so many things that I think I can bring to BookTube. So yes, with a little, a few changes going on, I'm going to put a little tip jar, maybe even an Amazon wish list to help me along with my reading in the coming year. So forgive me for that. I hope it doesn't offend anybody. But a girl has to do what a girl has to do. And I hope that any of the booktubers out there who are experiencing stress, anxiety because of BookTube, and it's affecting their reading, don't let it affect your reading, because you can find time for both, for the wonderful hobby and experience of reading, and also of being on BookTube and making friends. And these 14 months, despite the negative pressures, have been one of the best experiences in my life, and I hope to continue. So I was going to talk about books today, but I think I've kind of went beyond what I was really wanting to say. So if you haven't subscribed yet, join me. And please like, comment, and do all those good things to keep this channel alive. And until we meet again, hopefully before the year is out, I wish you all a happy holiday. Stay well, stay happy, and stay reading. Aloha.